Hi guys, this is Richard Rodriguez. Let's talk about the difference between hyperlinks and URLs. There seems to be a little bit of confusion and some people aren't familiar with the difference, so let's go ahead and go over it. Alright, so I'm going to go over a couple of things with you here. Let me show you my computer screen. I'm going to show you the difference between a hyperlink and a URL. But before we get started, make sure to give me that thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below and click that notification bell to be notified of any future videos that I make. And remember, on my channel I talk about motivation and mindset. I also talk about how to make short-term income so you can get that pizza money or that gas money on the side. But if you want to learn how to make a long-term income to replace that 9-to-5 job so you won't have to be reporting to a brick and mortar building on a daily basis in order to make ends meet, look at the link I have down below and you will see my #1 recommendation on how to make that income. Let's get started with the video. Okay, what I want to do is I want to tell you the difference between a link or hyperlink and a URL. A link or hyperlink, what it does is it's automated and it's set up whether it be through a picture or through just words on a page. You click on it and it's automated and it sends you to another spot, whether it sends you to another page or it sends you to a video or it starts playing a song or whatever that actual hyperlink sets up for it. It's the web designer or the webmaster who decides what that hyperlink is going to send you to. Most of the time a hyperlink is just going to be text. But every now and then people put hyperlinks as pictures. And I've done that many times. I've built many websites. But that's what a hyperlink does. A hyperlink is fully automated. And I'll show you a hyperlink in action. Watch this. Okay, let me show you what a hyperlink is. This here, Richard's team, is a hyperlink. You see how when I went over it, it actually highlighted? That means there's some behind the scenes mechanics that are working in action. So if you put your finger or your mouse over it and it turns into a finger or an arrow or whatever you have it set to do, it will highlight. That is a hyperlink. So if I click that, it's going to go to my page. Now this right here where it says online in 2009 is also another hyperlink. You see how it's highlighting? It's changing and it's underlining or the color changes. That color doesn't always have to change, but it is changing in this case. That means that's a hyperlink. Or about, you see how that changed? That is a hyperlink. Now, we're gonna go to, see that subscribe button there? That's not a hyperlink. You see how I'm clicking on it? And it's not doing anything because it's not a hyperlink. But if I did something like this, okay, what I'm gonna do is I am actually going to paste that hyperlink inside of my browser. I'm going to right click and I'm gonna hit paste and it's there. I'm gonna hit enter and you notice it goes to my website. That is a URL, or what URL pretty much means for the average person is a website address. It's just a website address. That was not a hyperlink. If you notice where it's amazing secret is not a hyperlink because nothing's happening there. Now if I go down to the button, you see how the button is a hyperlink. See how it's a hyperlink? Or if I go down to where it says email privacy, that is a hyperlink. So that's going to be the difference between a non-hyperlink and a URL. And let me show you what a URL actually means. Okay, let me show you a typical URL. Typical URL would be something like www.richards-team.com. Richard's team. This would be a typical URL. You notice nothing's happening. I'm clicking on it, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't highlight, my mouse doesn't change when I hover over it. It does nothing. So what I would have to do is left click, drag a window over it, right click, and click copy and then put that into my browser for it to take me to richardsteam.com. But a hyperlink does not require that. A hyperlink, you simply click on it and it takes you directly there. A URL is just a web address or URL. It's HTTP or HTTPS and you put that into your browser like that and then you go ahead and go to that website as a result. It's as simple as that. So you got to remember the difference between a hyperlink or a link and a URL. A URL has to be copied and pasted. So if you don't see something when you hover over it, it doesn't highlight, it is not a link. Doesn't matter what somebody calls it, if they're mistaken when they call it a link and it's not a link, you have to know the difference between a hyperlink and a URL. So if you wanted to create a hyperlink, you have to do a little bit more work behind the scenes, generally in HTTP or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. You'll have to do a little work behind the scenes, and you have to be a webmaster or web designer to learn a little bit more about it. Or, and I encourage you, learn a little bit more about it. Go online, watch some YouTube videos, and then you can actually know a little bit more about what you're talking about, and you can actually create yourself a hyperlink. Okay, so now that you know the difference between a hyperlink and then just a regular URL, you have a little bit more knowledge, and knowledge is powerful. So now if you want to build your own website, you can start working on your own website. Build a little bit more because you learned a little bit more each day. That's how I started. So watch YouTube videos. There were no YouTube videos when I started, but you get to watch YouTube videos and they help out a lot. Trust me, I even watch them to this day. So remember, as always, we make our own futures. So make yours a good one.